Let's talk rankings, not Shaka's power rankings. Yet. A questionable algorithm. I don't know if it's the same one. All right, so here's the latest FIFA Men's World Rankings. See Argentina number 1, Spain number 2. What about the countries that we focus in on here on Football Americas? We got USA at 16. Boy, my eyesight's terrible. Mexico at 17. What's Canada in there at 30? Do I have that right? Yeah. Mexico up 2 spots, but still behind the United States. The U.S. is the top CONCACAF team, despite the fact that they finished, Herc, as you so eloquently put it, 4th out of 4 at the CONCACAF Nations League. Are you cool with it?
I'm absolutely fine with it. Like, I'd be fine if it was Mexico over the U.S. men's national team, because what these rankings are, it's such a sliding scale when it comes to these rankings. It's by the number of games you play and the level of competition and where they're played, et cetera. So a team like Mexico, who has many of their games in a calendar year in the United States against lower opposition, could easily surpass the U.S. men's national team and won't play as many games. Sometimes they send this under-23 team to Chicago to play against Bolivia, and that's going to count towards the ranking. So it doesn't matter. But if you're asking me if I think rankings-wise they should be ahead of Mexico, I do. I mean, you're talking about a Mexico team. Let's go back and think about what the last few years have been for Mexico. They didn't win the CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. That was Canada. They didn't make it out of the group phase in the World Cup. They lost a Gold Cup before that, I believe, to the U.S. With the U.S.'s
B team. Yeah, we were there.
They won a Gold Cup. They didn't make it out of the group play in the Copa America. What else am I missing here? They lost countless Nations Leagues to the U.S.
But
there's no way in my eyes that Mexico is better for winning a Nations League.
But there's a big but there.
What's that?
Look, it's cumulative, right? And the World Cup carries a lot of points. So fair play. There's only 2 points difference between Mexico and the United States. But Herc, World Cup was how many years ago now? It's so long ago. In the last 2-3 years, U.S. absolutely does not deserve to be there.
Wait,
we lost to Mexico. No, but look. In the last
they're the darkest period of their history.
Right. But, recently, let's talk about now. I mean, 22, that was a long time ago.
Who do you think is the best team in CONCACAF today?
No, but I'm just... I hope I'll make this point. We lost to Mexico last 2 games. We lost to Canada last 2 games. We lost U.S. Lost to Panama 3 of the last 4 games. Panama 3 of the last 4, I think. I think I got that.
So
to Mexico and to Canada. So U.S. hasn't really been all that good in the last 2 years.
I think there's actually a point to be made
I think that's
there.
CONCACAF. And that's why I don't think you see any CONCACAF teams.
But you got to respect what we just saw on the field, right? I mean, the CONCACAF Nations League has to inform us somehow.
I mean, right now,
and it's hard. I'm not
be
saying that Mexico is the number 1 team in CONCACAF, even though they just won the Nations League.
Where's
but it's hard. I think it's hard to say that the U.S. is the best team in CONCACAF, having seen them finish.
Team in CONCACAF?
I'd probably give it to Canada right now.
I just think the region's so bad right now that you have to go by the history. You have to go by the accumulative history.
And I agree with you, but I mean, when I was looking at those games, Mexico, Canada, and Panama, we've done terribly in the last 2 or 3 years. This is not a matter of last few months, right? And up until the World Cup, you're absolutely right. And maybe that's right. It's just by 2 points. It could have been very easily Mexico. I don't know how they calculate all of that, but it's been dire. I mean, we have regressed as a team. I'm talking about United States since the World Cup. You're talking about Mexico, but what about the U.S. team?
Oh, he's asking me.
Copa America and now...
Well, that's a valid point, Janusz. So how does the U.S. remain top of CONCACAF? For me, I don't understand it. Now, to your question, Sebi, Canada right now, we could argue whether Canada have the best playing team, whether they have the best players. They get the best results. And I think certainly in major competition, I think I'm also right in saying Canada went deepest in the Copa America last year of the CONCACAF nations. Yeah. And while they finished 3rd out of 4 in the Nations League,
they beat the U.S.
So how does Canada not get more respect? And then looking overall at the FIFA rankings, this rankings as compared to the last. Mexico and Canada dropped 2 spots. The U.S. remains the same.
No, Mexico went up 2 and Canada went up 1, and the U.S. stayed the same.
How does
I'll answer that. I know why. Because Canada, because the federation is so messed up. Couldn't
They
even
missed
schedule
games.
games.
They missed
couldn't
a
even
window,
schedule
yeah.
games.
You're
And
right.
this is all about scheduling games. This is why I'm saying Mexico for the longest time would accumulate all these points because they would play so many more games.
I don't know if you guys remember, in like 2006, Mexico was ranked 4th in the world because they basically hacked the FIFA rankings. They knew how you played a bunch of games against a certain amount of competition, you'd win. Eventually, FIFA has, I think, somewhat figured out the formula to make it more like reality, but